Can you do it from your phone? Uh-oh, we're live. Bear with us, everyone.
Hold on, man.
No worries. No worries. Everybody just sit tight for a second while Gary figures out his technical difficulties here. My apologies, Pastor.
Is there any way I can share this on any of my pages?
Yes. So what you do is, now that he's live, go to his page. So his page being Gary Wayne Monroe, and then
Wayne Monroe.
Gary Wayne Monroe.
Is that Gerry?
Correct.
Gary Wayne Monroe.
Yes.
Go to Gary Wayne Monroe.
All
right.
And so when you find it, you can share it from there.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, I believe Gary is all good to go. And so hello to everyone who is on this live. We have a very special war zone here today. As you can see, not only am I with Gary, the 5-star general, we are with Pastor Thaddeus Mathews, otherwise known as the Cussing Pastor. So we're going to have a very eventful and insightful hour here. So please, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments section, and we may have a chance to get to them. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Gary, can you hear us? I don't know if he can hear us. Gary?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had to move the car. This laptop is struggling. Run the interview. Go with it.
Okay, so we see you perfectly. So anyway, as I said here, my apologies, Pastor, for all the technical difficulties, but we're ready to rock and roll. So we are here with Pastor Thaddeus Mathews of I hope I get it right, Naked Truth, Liberation, and Empowerment Ministries. Did I get that right?
That's it.
Oh, woo! And you are out of Memphis, Tennessee. And so I will say personally, I got to know of you about 2 years ago. I just happened across one of your videos, and I must say that you are not. Can you get it back?
I'm losing you. I'm getting airplanes and boats.
Yeah, that was Gary. Gary, use your computer. Sorry about that. So, as you say, I'm not your grandma's pastor. I believe that's what you say. And so I
say that it's not your grandmama's church.
Grandmother's church, okay. And I would wholeheartedly agree with you on that. I haven't been, it's a lot of feedback. Yes, perfect. Okay, we're gonna get this right. So I personally haven't been to church in, oh my God, about 8 years. Due to a whole host of things that a lot of people complain about. But when I came across your video, I said, wow, maybe I ought to start listening, because you do preach the gospel, but you also add some other things within that. So tell us a little bit about yourself being the Cussing Pastor and how you actually got that title.
Well, the title of the Cussing Pastor, now, I've been in ministry since I was about 16, 17 years old. I left the church for a long time because of a lot of bullshit that goes on in the church. I left the church, and my mother was real ill about 4 or 5 years ago. She's passed now. And she was telling me, boy, you need to get your black ass back in church. And I really didn't. I had joined a local church here. I went, paid my tithes, and went through the formalities of church. But I had been in ministry, and I've been in church all my life. And my mother told me, well, you need to get back in church. And I really had no desire to ever go back to the pulpit. But it was her dying wish. And when my mother passed, about it's been 4 years now, when she passed, there was nobody else that I was going to let eulogize her but me. And my commitment, I told the Lord, I said, and Lord and I have these personal conversations. And I said, Lord, now my mama been bugging me about coming back to church. If I can preach her funeral, if I can utilize her and not break down, then I'm going back. I didn't really think I would be able to make it through, but I did. And the rest, I really became history. May 20th, 4 years ago, I organized Naked Truth Liberation and in Empowerment Ministries, and here we are.
All right, and Gary, jump in at any time. Like I said, I listened to you quite a bit, and I often heard you say that if it wasn't for someone trying to, I guess, let's say, hate on you or expose you or try to put you out there as a bad pastor, you would have gotten where you are eventually, but you were able to turn that around for your good. So
I think that was it 3 years ago? It was about 3 years ago. I was dealing with a issue. Now, I've been in broadcasting 40 years, radio and television. So I was doing a broadcast dealing with an issue here in Memphis, and I cuss. I've been a cusser all my life. My mama was a great cusser. I knew that my mother was having good days when I walk into her house and she said, "Black ass motherfucker, you finally got your ass here." So I knew my mother was feeling okay. And I was doing a Facebook Live. I remember it was December the 17th, 3 years ago. And I did about 2 hours. And out of that 2 hours, I went into a tirade for about 3 minutes where I just cussed. It was a cussable situation. Well, someone took that 3 minutes, none of the nice things that I said, but they took the 3 minutes and put it on Facebook. And I didn't know anything about it until that Monday morning. I started getting calls, and they had labeled me the cussing pastor. And by that time, 1 million people had viewed me cussing. And it's probably 20, 30 million by now. But that's how it became. Someone meant it for bad, but it worked out for my good. I immediately copyrighted and registered the name Cussing Pastor, and it went from there.
So do you think it's that people have a problem with the cussing, or is it the message? Because I see a lot of people, you're not a man of God because you're cussing and all of that. Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, first of all, I don't give a damn about what people say. That's the first part. But who told you that cussing was a sin? Now, I bet you Jesus cussed. Okay? I bet you Jesus cussed. If we're talking about cussing being calling someone out of their name, you do know that there is scripture that supports Jesus called church folk out of their name. They were vipers. They were bros of vipers. They were fools. They just didn't have my favorite word. My favorite word is motherfucker. So they didn't have my favorite word back then. They didn't have that word. I bet if Jesus had to deal with some of these folk I deal with, he'd have called them a bunch of motherfuckers too. But I don't have, and see, there is a difference in cussing and cursing. Cussing is me calling you some of those names I can call you so eloquently. Cursing happens to be when I say, if I was to say, Demetra, you ain't no damn good, you're never going to be any good, you're never going to do anything in life, I place a curse on your life, on your existence. But cussing, it's a natural for me. And I don't think that I'm going the hell because I cuss no more than when you lay down with somebody else's husband. You going to hell.
Okay. And Gary, if you can unmute your computer unless you have a question. You have a question for Pastor?
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We hear you.
I'm struggling with this. Okay. Well, Pastor, let me say this here. Thank you for
for coming on the show. And I got a problem with them motherfuckers running them churches too. And I'm always running up in their churches, protesting inside the church, outside the church. Tell me what you think right now with the thing going on with Floyd George. All these old fake ass pastors running around, he ain't said nothing. But they getting all these people money and they ain't said nothing.
Well, let me tell you exactly what I think about it. When I look at guys like T.D. Jakes, ain't said a motherfucking thing. Okay? Sunday morning, my message from my pulpit is I can't breathe. That's the subject of my text on Sunday. I think that the black church has misused black people. We raised in the black church last year over $18 billion, and we don't own shit. We got no hospitals. We don't own any service stations. We're not building apartment complexes. We're not doing anything that is going to enhance, enrich, and empower our people. We're too busy sitting back waiting for the government to do something. You know, I see motherfuckers excited over a $1,200 stimulus check. That ain't no damn money, okay? And when we as a people got to be worried about $1,200 to survive, we in bad shape. When I look at the situation that is going on with George Floyd down in up in rather Minneapolis, and the black church has not said anything. See, we want to hoop and holler, run and jump, and tell you we on our way to heaven. I ain't in no damn hurry to get to no heaven. Shit, you gotta die to go to heaven. So why the fuck I'm gonna be in a hurry to die? When Jesus said in his word, I am come that ye may have life and have life abundantly. We think that being broke is you going to heaven. Broke is a sin. I can't stand being broke. Okay. And God does not want me broke. If God owns a cattle on 1,000 hills, like you done heard 1,000 times in church, he got cattle on 1,000 hills. And then, damn it, you can't even buy a damn hamburger. I don't want that God you got. Okay. But I think when I look at the Floyd situation, and this is a subject that I've been talking about the last couple of weeks, and I'll be talking about it tonight on my show as well. I think that it is time for the black church and the black preacher to address the issues that are going on in the world today. We've had a knee on our neck for over 400 years. We're worse off now than we were 50 years ago. Because see, the black man now thinks that he's free. You think that the white man loves you. You think that because you work in corporate America and that motherfucker gives you a title that you're better than everybody else. But that white man don't give a shit about you. Okay? Ask O.J. Simpson. Ask Michael Jackson if you could dig his ass up. The white man is still the white man. And what we have to understand is that your oppressor will never be your deliverer. We sitting back and we waiting for the white man to deliver us. I applaud everybody that is marching and demonstrating, except them thieving motherfuckers that's out there not because of the issue. Them motherfuckers in there stealing potato chips and tenants and shit. Roguish motherfuckers, go get you a motherfucking job. Fuck you. But, you know, to the guy that's out there and you out there because of the struggle, then I applaud you, but not them thieving motherfuckers.
Well, let me say this, Pastor. You got some people on here. I'm crying laughing. You got some folk on here. And just listen to me. He not no pastor. This is blasphemous. Well, hold on. I would rather sit here and listen to this genuine black man than to walk up in them churches. The one I went to getting $12,000 a month for me, you know, in tithes. I get sick. You don't bring your black ass to the hospital. Don't send the prayer group. Nobody. And then get upset because I leave the fucking church. So I don't care if y'all don't like. If you don't like what this man's saying, then get off of here and go follow your pastor. He waiting on your checkbook anyway.
Well,
He waiting on your checkbook anyway.
Here's what I tell them. Fuck you. Let me tell you something. Naked Truth, Liberation, and Empowerment Ministry. I get no salary. Okay. The last 4 years of ministry, financially, I have put in over $300,000 of my money into ministry. Last summer, I fed over 1,000 separate families, and I didn't get a thank you for them hungry motherfuckers. Nothing. Okay? So don't give me that bullshit about that's blasphemy. You have your idea of what ministry is all about. Jesus was angry. When Jesus went into the table and went into the temple and turned the tables over, do you think he said, oh, here nice tables, I'm going to turn you over? No, it says that Jesus went in there and whooped the folk out of the temple. So you get these folk who are caught up in the white man's gospel. See, this thing that we call Christianity, it is not of black descendants. We are not Christians by nature. We believe in God, the awesomeness of God, but we didn't even call him Jesus. In fact, these dumb motherfuckers that you got on your site, if they were to read, they will understand that 2,000 years ago, 2020 years ago, there was no name Jesus. Jesus is not biblical because 2,020 years ago, the letter J was not in the Hebrew or the Greek language. If they just wanted to be critical about it, that white boy you call Jesus with the blonde hair and the blue eyes is a man by the name of Caesar Borgia. He's a homosexual. He liked dick in his ass. He was the gay lover of Michelangelo who painted him. That's the reason it's called the King James Version of the Bible. We don't talk about the lost books of the Bible. We don't talk about the Apocrypha because the white man has programmed us to his bullshit. So we follow the bullshit of the white man. That's what's got us so fucked up now.
So the Jesus that these people been worshiping
is a sister.
Like to get his salad tossed.
I don't know whether they was tossing salads with French dressing or what. But if they go and check it out, Google. His name was Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia was the homosexual lover of Michelangelo, who was another sissy. And he used it because I always wondered when I was a little boy, and I got in trouble for asking too many questions, was how you know what Jesus looked like? I remember at 63 years old, I remember that camera where you said we take them pictures and the little picture would shoot out the camera. Who took Jesus' picture? Then when I did the reading and I did the research, and see, understand that the black preacher does not want you reading on your own. He wants you to follow everything that he says. But I'm gonna give your audience something that they've never heard before. I'm gonna give you proof that everything that happened to Jesus is not in them 66. If you go to the book of John, the last chapter of John and the last verse, and I'm paraphrasing it, it will tell you that if everything that was written about Jesus could be written in books, there will not be enough books on the planet to hold them. So everything that happened to Jesus is not in the Bible. In fact, there are 18 years missing out of the life of Christ. He goes from 12 years old, doesn't reappear biblically until he's 30. So what we have is people who think that they know who Jesus is. They think that they are religious. I don't have religion. Religion is not of God. God does not, he ain't no Baptist. He ain't no Church of God in Christ. He just God. And he's awesome all by himself.
I tell you what, man, I say keep preaching the gospel, because I'm not giving these Negroes my money. I ain't giving Jesus my money. I'm not giving none of them my money. And those that get mad, you know what to do, bro. So today kind of what it is, man. If you don't like what's being said, then get the hell on, because it's real. And if the man can go into the Bible and show you what needs to be shown, and you still want to be dumb, then ask your dumb ass 463 years later, where's Jesus while we've been getting our ass kicked?
I tell people,
Where's your porcelain guard while we've been getting our ass kicked?
when
Something
you
ain't
go
right. It ain't adding up.
when you go over and you read in the book of Ephesians, and you always hear people want to talk about Paul. I said, Paul is a crazy motherfucker. Because in the book of Ephesians, it says, servant, obey your master. I ain't got no fucking master. This is what the white man used to program the black man into slavery. I don't go with that. And then, Paul, now, Paul wants to tell you how to treat a woman. And you do know that Paul was a eunuch, don't you? You know what a eunuch is? Eunuch means he didn't have no dick. He had been castrated. So how a man that ain't got no dick gonna tell me how to treat a woman?
My God. My God.
And you want to get you some pussy. And you just take it.
Go ahead, Demetri.
Ooh, boy, I tell you, we are getting an education here today. And so, speaking of the white man giving black people Christianity as we know it today, do you think black pastors, are purposely being used as a tool for white supremacy by continuing the talking points from slave masters?
Yes. I think many of them know no better. Many of them don't want to know any better. And when you've been programming, you've been preaching a particular gospel for 40 or 50 years, it's hard to take you out of what you think is right. I took my audience last week on a trip mentally. I said, now, when you read the creation story, you got Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Am I right? Yeah, am I right, Demetri?
Absolutely.
So when you read over that, when Cain kills his brother Abel, and it says that Cain left and married his wife. He went to the land of Nod and married his wife. Where did the wife come from? The black preacher does not want to teach you that. But if you pick up this book I got called The Lost Books of the Bible, and you start to read it and you start to researching, you'll find that when Cain was born, he had a twin sister. When Abel was born, he had a twin sister. And when you do the research, you find that Cain went to Nod and married his sister. And with his sister, they produced a man by the name of Enoch. But we're not going to read because we have been so conditioned that if it's not in the 66 books, it got to be wrong.
Absolutely. And so I hope everybody's listening because he is most definitely telling the truth. So let's switch the conversation a little bit to relationship advice. I'll tell you, for those of you guys who haven't heard the relationship advice of Pastor Mathews, it is definitely one to listen to. And so I know a lot of people don't agree with the way that you give it. It is straight, raw, and uncut. Tell us a little bit about your relationship advice style.
Well, I'm 63 years old. I've had more pussy on purpose than by accident than the average man gets on purpose. So I've learned some things in life. And the pussy that used to be important to me ain't as important to me now. Economics is what's important to me. And I tell women this: don't fuck a broke ass man. If a man, the only meat that a man can offer you is the meat between his legs, and he can't put none on your table, you a dumb motherfucker. Okay? You putting that meat in your mouth and you can't digest that, baby. You something crazy. A man is supposed to be your provider. If a man cannot provide for you what you're doing with him, you can masturbate, stick a dildo in it, use your fingers, and hell, sometimes you're gonna feel better in a way. because the man don't know what the fuck he doing no way. So I tell women that you got to be careful of the men that you choose in your life. You get pregnant by anything, and what you get dick that go in you that produce DNA that comes out of you that's damn fools. Okay, if you put two cows together, you get a cow. You put two dogs together, you get a dog. You put two damn fools together, you get a damn fool. So I tell women, find your man that can not only fuck you but can feed you.
Wow. Hey man, let me ask you a question. Al Jackson, at because we get questions from our audience,
Mhm.
and he said, "What is your feelings about Minister Farrakhan?"
I totally support the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I have flown all over the country. I was with the minister for the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. I think that he's the strongest black leader that we have in the country right now. So assalamu alaikum to all of my uh, friends in the nation. Uh, but I totally support the minister. Every time he comes to Memphis, one of the things that I enjoy about the minister is he can come to your city. And the last time he was here, he was in a place that would hold over 3,000 people. And I looked at black men who lined up, because if you ever been to one of his rallies, you know you got to line up, you got to be searched before you go in. I saw men that didn't cuss. I saw men that didn't push, but everybody wanted to get in and hear his message. And so I totally support the minister.
That is great, man. Because we everybody on this show definitely supports the minister. Um, Man, let me ask you a question. I've been waiting to ask you this here, even before you came on the show. And now that you done broke down the homosexual man on the pictures that they say is Jesus, what's your ideologies on these dudes twisting these scriptures up to allow the homosexuality to just fester in the church?
Well, here's what I'd say about the homosexual. Me personally, I like pussy. If you want some dick in your ass, that's a personal decision that you need to make. See, the church can't preach against homosexuality, and your drama, your organ player, your director, they homosexuals. That's an oxymoron. Okay, you're hypocritical. I think that God loves everybody, man. Okay, God loves you no matter what shape you're in. If you're the gangster, if you're the liar, you're the whoremonger, we all have a chance at God's redemptive nature. So, you know, they twist the scriptures about homosexuality, but damn, I know a whole lot of funny preachers. Okay, I know a whole lot of preachers that are married to women as a cover, but they sucking dick too. Okay, they getting their ass tore out the rim. My thing is, I have a personal relationship with God. Your relationship with God is personal, and maybe you ain't got to the point yet uh, where I am. Cause man, I done fucked up in my life. I done did some fucked up shit in my life. Had it not been for God's amazing grace, then man, I wouldn't be here. So I don't come down on the homosexual. Let me tell you about an experience that I had. It's no secret that I've been on T.S. Madison's show. You know T.S. Madison. I've been
Yeah.
on T.S. Madison's show. I've been to TS's house, is where they produce the show. And I sat there, and all of those people were very nice. All of the homosexuals that were there were nice to me. Did nobody try to hit on me or nothing of that nature? I had my security with me, but everybody was nice. TS and I have a relationship a business relationship, and I learned some things that because you are different in your belief does not mean that you're a bad person. So I don't tell the homosexual, you damn to hell. Because see that story that they use in the Bible about Lot, when you go back and you read that story, Sodom and Gomorrah was not destroyed for homosexual. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of sin, not just the sin of homosexuality, but sin itself. Uh, and God tried to give them a chance, okay? God, but they didn't want no chance. So what I say to you, man, if you are the homosexual, you still got a chance to get it right. And then how am I to say, man, you got it wrong? Who am I to judge you? Okay? Because like I said, man, I did some fucked up shit that's worse than being a homosexual. The reason I'm not in prison today is because I didn't get caught. You understand? Man, I've done some things, and I've done some things to people that is not godly. But had it not been for the grace of God, and God keep on giving me chance after chance after chance, he keeps allowing me to be on the wake up list every day. Man, that's what keeps me here. So I ain't condemning nobody. But you motherfuckers that break in my house, because I'm going to shoot your ass. But other than that, hey, brother, I love people. I love people whether you're the homosexual or whoever you are.
So I want to ask you about forgiveness. So obviously, you know, the country and really all over the world has been protesting and even rioting due to the murder of George Floyd. And so within the last couple of days, we've seen police officers kneeling and hugging people and all of that stuff. And we've even heard some of the family members of George Floyd, specifically his fiance or girlfriend, whoever she was, saying that George would want them to be forgiven. He wouldn't want this. What is your take on forgiveness when it comes to stuff like that? And do you think we should forgive police officers who are now kneeling with us and all of that?
Well, to the person that says that George would want you to forgive, how the fuck you know? Okay. Do you think George wants to be dead right now? Here's a black man that's laying there with a white man's knee on his neck. He's saying, I can't breathe. They're going to kill me. He's calling for his mother who's been dead for 2 years. Do you think that George was ready to forgive them? So when you make this statement, George would want you to, you don't know that. I ain't ready to forgive them white boys. Okay? Because we as black folk are the most forgiving folk on the planet to everybody but folks that look like us. We won't forgive each other, but you'll forgive that white boy for anything that he does. You love that white boy so much, you'll go to his store, you'll bypass the black store that sells the very same thing and go to the white store. So I ain't ready to forgive him. I ain't ready to turn the other cheek. I think that the white boy has to understand that we have been oppressed all of these years, and damn it, we ain't gonna take it no more. And no, I ain't forgive you, because if I forgive you, you want me to forget about it. See, when I talk, and I talk a lot about racism on my show, and I get black folk who are so cowardly. And let me tell you something. The most dangerous Negro in the world is that Negro that's a coward. That Negro that loves white folks so much that he will mistreat black folk. That Negro that talk about, I got some white friends. Fuck your friend. Your friend don't give a fuck about you. What are you doing for black folk? I am not ready to forgive you. You can't kick my ass today and I forgive you. You can't break into my house today and I forgive you. You can't rape my woman and think that I'm about to forgive you. And see, some folk are so heavenly until they ain't no earthly good at all. So no, I ain't for that forgiveness shit. I say that we see the moment that we as black folk accept that white folk they all right, the white people are right, them 4 white boys, we gonna forgive them. That's the minute that we're gonna stop demonstrating. That's the minute that we're gonna stop wanting a change. That's the minute that we're gonna say, oh, that knee on my neck, it feel all right. Okay, let your knee sit up. Fuck that white boy. Fuck forgiveness. And let's come together as a people in this nation. I'm talking about black people. See, one of the things that disturbed me, Demetri, is this. Where all these white folk come back from? Where all these white folk all of a sudden talking about Black Lives Matter? God damn it, when we need jobs in the black community, it has not mattered. When we needed economics in the black community, it has not mattered. When we needed housing in the black community, it has not mattered. Now, all of a sudden, you want to tag along on the Black Lives Matter movement and say, well, black power. How the fuck a white woman gonna say Black Lives Matter? Cause you fucking a black man? No, you just getting used to dick. It's plain and simple. And I have a problem with a black man that only wants him a white woman. You think that your life is better now because you got a little money and you get a white woman? No, I love my black sister. And I can't forgive that black man who comes from the womb of a black woman who thinks that your comeuppance in life is with that white woman. So no, I ain't forgiving your ass for shit. Praise the Lord.
They want to know what you're sipping on, by the way.
There's some tea right now.
Okay.
If I had some Hennessy in my office, I'd be sipping it. But this is tea right here.
I know that's right.
I got a whole.
Go ahead.
I got a whole 2 hours to do with my show tonight.
You know what? I know you couldn't hear me, but I felt like I was at church. I was back here hooping and hollering myself when you were just talking. So let me go back to relationship questions. Why do you think women choose? I mean, I know there's a whole lot of reasons, but why do you think women choose to stay with a no good man? I mean, I'm talking about a man who everybody know he ain't no good.
Because you've never had an example of what a real man was. Most women, the average woman, comes from a fatherless home. So you haven't had an example of what a real man is like. And you think that when you're out here by yourself without a man, you're not a woman. So you'll pick up any no good motherfucker that comes along. All you gotta do is buy you a 5-piece chicken wing dinner with some carrots and some celeries and buy you some champagne and you in love. Okay? You don't put a value on who you are. See, that thing that God got betwixt y'all thighs is a powerful thing. And it's worth something. But it loses its value the more you use it with somebody that brings no value to you. So you've got to think something of yourself and got to understand that if all you getting from a man is dick, but he can't provide no relation. When I say relationship, I'm talking about when you worried about your bills, he's the one that tells you, baby, look, go to sleep. I got this. When the bills is due, he's going to do whatever he has to do to make sure that the bills are paid. When the children are hungry, he going to get you more than an EB&T card and some Roman noodles. He's going to do, he's a provider. He's a nurturer. He's a husband. He bands the house together. He's the man that you can look up to. He's the man that when you're in your weakest hour, you know that everything is going to be all right because your man is going to take care of you.
Well, Pastor, let me ask you a question, man. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the church. I got a radio show, and one night I did a show saying they selling pussy at the church. Is that true?
Man, they always sell pussy at the church. The best hoes I know.
I told y'all.
Huh? Not only do they sell pussy in the church, they give good pussy away at the church. Good pussy. Some of the best pussy I ever had in life was a sister that said, you know, I praise the Lord, I ain't never sucked no dick before. But Lord, I think I'm gonna try it just this once. And she snatched your soul away from you. Okay? It's just a lie. See, we like to pretend in the church. Let me tell folks. I tell folks this. I'm 63 years old. I like pussy. I'm not gonna be like your pastor to tell you he don't like pussy. I like pussy. Okay. And if your pastor don't like pussy, he gotta like booty. It's gonna be one. It's gonna be one or two. If he ain't trying to get no pussy, he trying to get some booty. Okay. I'm gonna keep on trying to get some pussy. I like pussy. I like nice titties and a wide ass. I can say that I'm a man. I'm a man before anything else. And a man that don't like pussy, something is wrong with him. I heard a preacher one night preaching, oh, he was hooping and hollering. And he said, the Lord, he done took the taste of pussy away from me, or the taste of women away from me. I said, Lord, that was him talking. Don't take that taste from me. I want the taste, Lord. Let me keep on tasting it, you know. But it's, hey, man, we pretend in the church. Again, we pretend to be so heavenly, man, until we are no earthly good.
Now here's a question. I know you probably saw the story of and I'm gonna make a lot of people mad in Houston. The pastor that got caught up by the feds for passing them fake Chinese bonds. Can you give
Wait,
us or
passing
tell
fake
us,
what?
give us some insight?
Wait a
He
minute,
was he
passing
was
what?
he was selling fake Chinese bonds to his parishioners. Kirby John Caldwell.
Okay.
Can you realistically tell us what happens to the money once it get in the collection plate and it end up in the back room?
They counted and it's supposed to go to the bank. Now, you need to know how much your pastor gets paid. Any church that will not tell you what the salary of the pastor and the staff is a place that you should not be placing your money in. Okay. You have a right, if you're putting your money in, you have a right to know where your money is going. I tell folks this: if your church comes to you at the end of the year and give you a form and they want to know how much money you make a year, you in the wrong place. Because what that church is doing is calculating your money to see how much money they're supposed to get from you all year long. I don't teach the tithe. I teach giving. I teach reaping what you sow. If you plant money, you get money. The reason I ain't never broke, brother, is because I give. I plant money. And what God does, even with me spending over $300,000 of my money in doing this ministry in the last 4 years, I ain't missed a meal, man, because God blesses your faithfulness. God sees your desires. And yeah, you know, I could probably put on a show here on Sunday mornings and make a whole lot of change. But this ain't no show to me, man. This is probably the realest thing I do. This ain't my TV show. This ain't my radio show. This is all about God and the people of God. I'm down here in what is called South Memphis. I'm a block from the Stax Museum. I'm in an area where the median income is less than $10,000 a year for a household. Okay. Saturday morning, my boys mentoring back on my website since we're doing this pandemic thing. I'm going to be talking to our young boys and trying to save their lives, man, letting them have some self-esteem. So, the people that don't like me, and I get a bunch of them. If you ain't feeding me, financing me, or fucking me, the 3 F's, I really don't give a shit what you think.
Demetri?
Yes, indeed. So I want to ask you about infidelity, especially within the Black community. A lot of Black women are told you might as well get used to sharing your man because women outnumber men. What are your thoughts on infidelity? Do you think it's something that we should get used to, or is it something that, what are your overall thoughts?
Well, you can't make nobody want you. Okay? You can't make anybody want you. As far as being faithful, you train your man. What are you doing to make him faithful? You bitching, nagging, and complaining all the time. You get used to your man. You ain't fucking him no more. You ain't freaking him no more. You ain't fixing his dinner. You listening to what a woman says that ain't got damn man, don't even have a man that like her a little bit. You listening to her, and you bringing that misery from somebody else, that negativity from somebody else into your house. What you think your man gonna do? Okay, that's the same way with a woman. If you're not providing for your woman, you to be her support. What do you think that your woman is going to do? I tell people this even when I talk about marriage. Everybody that you marry, everybody that you have a ceremony with, or you buy a piece of paper with, is not your husband. You have a relationship and you go stand in front of some vows that was man written that uses certain portions of scripture, does not mean that that's your husband. A lot of folk right now are married to the wrong somebody. You done messed off your whole life with the wrong somebody. It says that what God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. Ask yourselves, how many people are married that you didn't ask God to get into it? Now you're asking God to get you out of it, but did you ask God to get you into the relationship? So when you talk about infidelity, that's a personal thing. Why is your mate cheating on you? Now, is he just a dog? If he's just a dog and he ain't gonna never be good to you, then put the dog out. Ask yourself,
Oh, go ahead, Pastor.
ask yourself, why is your mate cheating? What can I do to keep my man at home? If he likes his dick sucked and you ain't sucking dick, you need to learn how to suck dick. Okay? If she like her pussy ate and you ain't eating no pussy, then you need to learn how to eat some pussy. Okay? And a pussy a day or keep a doctor away.
Pastor, let me ask you this.
Yes.
I'm nonpartisan. Trump or Biden, brother?
Man, this is a hard one. I can't support Trump. But I don't know whether I'm ready to support Biden either. And I hear people, and I have a lot of people that talk to me about he the lesser of two evils. Hell, evil is evil. You know, I on that one, I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold because I think that Biden needs to bring us a black agenda. I know that he's politicizing right now the tragedy of George Floyd. Um, I don't know. I ain't ready for Biden, but I don't want Trump. So I might just flip a coin.
Demetri?
Did you get a chance to hear President Obama speak yesterday when he was addressing police brutality and racism in America?
Well, damn, he was there 8 years, wasn't
Yeah.
Okay. So you want all these you want all these policy changes. You were there for 8 years. Um, let's understand, and I'm glad I lived in a lifetime where we had a black president. I will not see it again in my lifetime. You probably won't see it in yours. But Obama had 8 years as the first elected black president. He had 8 years to bring us all of the changes in black America that we needed. So I don't care that much, for the speech. It's great. And I think that he's setting the stage for Biden. Uh, but I wasn't really impressed with the speech.
Oh, so somebody wants to know about Cheryl Wright. How did you know she was guilty, or did you know she was guilty?
I did more on that story than probably anybody. In fact, the day that I became the Cussing pastor, that's what I was talking about, was Cheryl Wright. Um, in looking at all of the information that even the police didn't have, felt as though, first of all, Cheryl was a very jealous woman. So I think that based on what I had, the information that I had, and here he was, Lorenzen Wright was her husband, basketball player Lorenzen Wright, had another woman. I found out that they had already tried to kill him in Atlanta. That she was going from after Lorenzen. She had about 3 different husbands in a short period of time. I just felt pretty sure that she was guilty. The information that she'd given about what was on the day that he disappeared, it just didn't add up. So that was pretty much based on the evidence and the information that I had is how I came to that conclusion.
So,
So go ahead.
I was about to say, I know you don't care what people think about you, and I agree you shouldn't because I don't either. But what would you say is the most misunderstood thing about you?
Oh hell, I don't know. I don't know where to start. People say that I'm arrogant. I'm, uh, hell, I don't know because I really don't sit down and try to debate it. But I think that I'm a nice person. People talk about who I am and what I do, but I remember a couple of years I spent over $20,000 of my money burying folk. I had to quit being Captain Saberhole because as soon as your mama died, you know, uh, we need some help. Now I tell you, go dig a hole in your backyard, put your mom in the yard so she can be close to you. But I think, like in Memphis, I am better received all across the country than I am right here in Memphis. If I was 20 years younger, I leave Memphis in a heartbeat. Um, because see, in Memphis, I don't have to beg nobody for nothing. I work hard. I work 7 days a week. I don't play with the politicians. I tell them exactly what I think. I don't play with the Negro preacher. I'm not accepted in most black churches as a pastor. With a church for 4 years, I have never been invited to speak at anybody's church. And I traveled the country before the pandemic. I lost a lot of money this summer. But I just think that the issue becomes you don't really know me for who I am. You know me for who you want me to be. You want me to be like your average pastor. And a lot of people cannot separate my business from church. Like I said, I've been in broadcasting for 40 years, radio and TV. I own my own show. I own my TV show. Now I've transferred the TV show into a subscription-based television show on the internet, which has turned out to be profitable. Plus, it also keeps me in a position because I stay in Facebook jail. I've been out for 2 weeks now, and that's surprising. Um, I'm able to take my show, cussingpastortv.com, and do and say what I want to say. And I started on my birthday, which is April Fool's Day. I guess God had a sense of humor. Um, I've acquired a Roku channel, Cussing Pastor TV. And, so I guess when you say, how am I misunderstood? I'm misunderstood because I don't kiss ass. But I've been known to help a whole lot of folk in this community. So it is what it is. I have to deal with it.
I don't know if Gary is frozen. Gary, you frozen?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
So, Pastor, this is my final question. What you think about the churches who will not do the funerals for the people who they feel ain't paid enough tithes?
Well, here's what I'd say. If you're a member of the church, you have a responsibility of one or two things. If you ain't got no money, at least a 10. Be faithful. Okay? If you can give, then give. I ain't having your damn funeral here. And you ain't been here. Okay? Why am I having your funeral for? They got a funeral home. Have your funeral, have your mama's funeral at the funeral home. If you're not a contributor of your time, your service, or your finances, why would I want to have your funeral here? I don't owe you nothing. I didn't kill you. So, damn, why I got to have your funeral?
Final words, Mr. Mitchell.
Well, I just love you dearly. We could be here forever asking questions on top of questions, but I would just like to say, it's been my absolute pleasure to spend this hour with you. And I would that everybody would follow the pastor on all of your platforms because he is actually speaking truth to power and truth to Black people in order to help us become better. Yeah, you might not like how it's delivered, but pay attention to the message because it's absolutely what we need to move the ball forward. And so tell us how we can, you told us about Cussing Pastor TV. How else can we get the message from you?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. And I don't do everybody's show. Okay? That's the first thing. I have a lot of people that have asked me to come and do their podcasts and things of that nature. It was just something about your demeanor. Then he told me that you like me too, Demetra. So I said, okay, well, let me do it for Demetra. But you can catch me. I'll be on at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm on every night, Monday through Fridays, from 7 until 9. It's cussingpastortv.com. It's only, I started this April the 1st. I spent nearly 8 years on a Black network that was using me to make their money. So, and I was paying them $72,000 a year for my time on the air. And I started Cussing Pastor TV. Right now, it's $5 a month or $50 for a whole year. July 1 is going to be $9.95 per month, still with the $50 per year. On my Facebook page, and because I am always put in Facebook jail, it's not under Thaddeus Mathews. It's my first and last name, My last name first, spelled backwards. Then my first name, spelled backwards. So you can get me there. On Instagram, it's the underscore cussing underscore pastor underscore.
Well, these are my final words. Thank you, brother, for coming on. I know you didn't have to do it, and I really, really enjoyed you. I enjoy you every time I hear you speak. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm sick of them Negroes running churches, and every chance I get to run up in one
How
of
come
them and
I
cut up.
gotta put my cash app? I said, y'all cash app then.
Oh,
Yeah,
give us your cash out.
yeah, hell, y'all raising a damn offering and I ain't in the offering?
We finna put you in the offering. Hold on a
That ain't
second.
godly.
Let me take that out. What's your
Well,
cash app? What's his cash
I'm
app?
wait.
It's $ Naked Truth Ministries.
I'm definitely gonna put something on the plate as soon as we get out of here.
Praise the Lord, sister. Praise the Lord. Where you at? In Houston? Y'all in Houston?
Well, Gary's in Houston and I'm in Southern California. I'll be in Houston toward the end of the year.
Okay. I was in Houston not too long ago for Al Rucker.
I know Al.
Rucker show. I was supposed to be back for a play, but the pandemic hit. So Houston is one of my favorite places. California is a favorite place of mine also. What part of California are you in?
Southern California, about 45 minutes outside of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say this here to the viewers because these are my final words. I'm gonna read this from Kenya Torin. And I stand by my message. Thaddeus is fake and whack and a disgrace to our people. He like the hoes. He prays. We'll sell his ass for $1 and only move for $1. That's no power for our people. So I want to ask you a question. Where the hoes go on Sunday mornings? Who in the church pimping for the money? And who helping you inside of that church? See, I don't care if y'all get mad or not. The man speaks the truth and you don't want to hear the truth. Niggas, hoes, and bitches do exist. I'm just being honest. That's what T.I. say. You listen to him every day. So at the end of the day, if you don't want to hear his message, then cool. Keep going over there to that pastor that's putting that wood in your ass that ain't giving you nothing, but you trying to buy your way into heaven.
Well, let me tell the whole this. Let me tell you this. I will be on the air at 7 p.m. You can call me on the air at 901-231-9239. Or I'll tell you what, I'll stay here a few more minutes. And if you got something you want to say to me, then damn it, dial that number. 901.
She don't have to dial a number, Pastor. If you want to stay a couple of minutes, she can send me an email and she can jump on here with us.
Yeah, come on.
Or you want to hide behind your computer?
No, yeah, don't be one of them coward bitches. Be a real bitch. See, a real bitch from the street, she ain't scared to show her bitchism. See, you one of them church bitches that want to sit back and talk your shit. Well, bitch, come on the page. Can she come on the page?
All she got to do is just send me an email. Shit. Come on, send your email.
Tell the bitch to come on. She got the right one today. She been giving pussy away out of both draw legs, and she want to talk to me. A poor, hungry, broke, weave wearing, fan looking eyelash bitch. Bitch, come on, ho. Probably got 29 and a half babies. Bitch, come on. The pastor's waiting on your ass.
I don't think she's about that life.
Huh?
I don't think she about that life. I don't think she gonna do it.
I don't think she wanna come on. You say you ain't about that life. She must not be about that life, Pastor.
Anybody got something you want to say to me? Y'all come on now. I got about 5 or 10 minutes. I gotta get ready for my show in an hour. I go there in an hour. But come on. See, all you holy thou sanctimonious, speaking in tongues, fire baptized, Holy Ghost, full, phony, fake ass folk. Come on into the room. Come on in the room.
Oh my
They got the wrong one today, dog.
I don't think that's the answer she was looking for, but that's what she got.
I'm selling myself for $1. Bitch, I ain't got nothing for $1. Ask your mammy. I charge your mammy to kiss my ass.
Man. Oh my God. Pastor, I don't think she's gonna come on, man. I want to thank you. I want to thank you again, brother. And you are free to come back whenever you choose to, Doc.
Amen.
Whenever you want to come back.
I'm sorry I acted up. I was gonna come and act real professional. I was gonna act real professional on your show. And I know you got people from all over the country that's viewing this, and I got a little ugly on your show. But let me tell you something. See, I get these hypocrites. They throw rocks and want to hide their hand.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the reason. This is the reason our society is in the shape that it's in. And one of the reasons that I draw the crowd that I do on social media and other platforms is that, man, real people are looking for real. The reason that a lot of folk don't go to church or go to this thing that we call organized religion is because of the fakes and phonies. They see you out in the club all night, Saturday night, you stone drunk. Then Sunday morning, you want to act like you ain't never sinned, you ain't never did anything, and they know your life. God loves us all, man. I don't care whether you the gangster or what. And yeah, I am the cussing pastor. I cuss in 29 languages. I'm working on my 30th now. But hey, man, it's about being real. It's about being authentic.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well,
Next
Demetri,
time,
close it out, mama.
Next time I come to Houston, man, I need to go down there to the what's the place? The Turkey Hut.
The Turkey Leg Hut.
The Turkey Leg Hut.
That's in my neighborhood. I got you.
The last time I was there, man, they had closed and they had just opened. But I ate at a brother's place. Dale, you remember the name of that place we ate when we was down there?
Was it soul food?
It was a place. They got a lot of art on the side of the building. It was a restaurant. Lucky I was.
This is it?
Huh?
This is it?
No, it was a black-owned business. It was like in your downtown area. The food was great. I don't remember the name.
You talking about the Breakfast Club?
Breakfast Club.
That was it. The Breakfast Club. That was it.
Marcus Davis in the Breakfast Club.
Yes. I enjoyed the service. I enjoyed the food down there. And that brother got it going on. Looked like he's got an excellent business. And, one last point. I'm telling all these people, these black folk that are demonstrating, that if you really want the white man to pay attention to you, economic boycott. That marching shit and get my knees and my feet tied, I ain't for that shit. But if you take your black dollar and start spending your black dollar with black business, then that's where you are going to affect the white man. The white man gonna say, we need to go head on and hang them white boys. And I tell white America this, they're arrested, they're going to trial. But if America allows those white boys who killed that black man to get away scot-free and not go to jail, this country has not seen the burning of buildings that's going to happen.
We keep trying to tell them. We keep trying to tell them. Well, brother, you come back anytime you get ready. when you come into Houston, let me know. I got you. Cause
Man,
both of them is in my neighborhood, Turkey Leg and the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I got you. Close us out,
brother.
Miss Demetri.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming. And Mr. Al Jackson wanted me to tell you hello. He is one of your biggest followers. I cannot call that man and talk to him while your show is on, period. He'd be like, you got to call me back. So he wanted me to tell you hello and come back anytime you want to. It's been a joy, a pleasure. And as I said, people need to hear every word you have to say because I believe you are going to help lead us to where we need to go.
Thank you so very much. I'm getting ready for my show, and I'm going to be talking about racism. I'm going to be talking about Mr. Floyd, the services on today, and my message every Sunday. And people want to know if I cuss from the pulpit. No, a little hell and damn come out on Sunday morning, unless I just But Sunday morning, my message is I can't breathe. I want to talk about from the pulpit the choking that the white man has put on Black America in this country. And I'm challenging Black preachers all over this land and country. Don't give me about let's go to heaven Sunday morning when our people are living in hell. What are we going to do to get out of hell? Thank you, Demetri. With you cute too, girl.
Oh, thank you.
How old you be, girl?
I'm 49.
Oh, you the right age, girl. Gentlemen, thank you so much, man, for allowing me this opportunity to come and be in your presence. And I hope to do it again real soon. You know how to call me. I'll be glad to do it.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
I tell Dell we said hello. We love her too.
Tell who?
Dale.
How much you know about Dale?
We know Dale is the real. She's the magic behind the show. We know.
See, now you look. Now you got a head all pumped up and stuff. You ain't on the show, Dale. They said tell no Dale hey. Hey, look, but thank you so much for receiving me. Your audience that don't like me, tell me, first of all, get to know me before you dislike me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, y'all.
All right. Bye-bye. And so for the rest of you guys, we will see you the same time. Well, no, not the same time tomorrow. We'll actually be on our regular scheduled time. We just have to do it a little bit early tonight because as Pastor Matthew said, he has a show at the same time. So please go and check him out on all of the channels that he's giving you. So we'll be back here. Gary, are you traveling tomorrow?